has been the site for human activity for over 15,000 years. This land is the ancestral land of the Wendat and the Anishinaabe Nation. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as the Williams Treaty. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture. We also recognize the ensuring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Language, thank you. Our agenda for today was distributed in advance. Just to note, Mayor Nuttall had a conflict this morning and another commitment, so he will not be joining us. A motion to approve today's agenda. Deputy Mayor Thompson, Ms. Strawn, any amendments, changes, or adjustments to the or questions with respect to today's agenda? Seeing none, those in favor? Thank you. Does any member of the board have to declare a conflict of interest with respect to today's agenda item? Seeing none, thank you. Distributed in advance were our minutes of our meeting of March the 21st, 24. A motion to approve those minutes. Deputy Mayor Thompson. Mr. Khan, any questions, comments, amendments with respect to those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Next is the appointment of auxiliary members. Motion to approve the appointment of auxiliary members Kyle Georges, Caleb Russell, Eric Samsford, and Stephen Mike Thompson. A motion, please. Deputy Mayor Thompson, Ms. Strong. Any questions, comments, or with respect to that? Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Just more of a comment and appreciating people stepping up to do this job. It's something the community needs, and it's very appreciative from both hats I wear.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call all those in favor. Thank you. Thank you. 4 items were in this morning's consent agenda. Update on our strategic plan, community safety and survey results, staff acknowledgements, and public complaints. Any questions for the chief and or staff with respect to today's consent agenda items? Ms. Strong, please.
This is in relation to the community safety survey summary report. Am I on the right agenda item then? That's fine. Great. Okay. So I just wanted to highlight and maybe get the chief's impressions on figure 3 in the report, safety concerns in the city of Barrie, and the I guess perhaps changes year over year from 2023 and back, and specifically something that is on the list now that I've not seen on the list before is human trafficking. And then something that has been on the list consistently and is now not on the list is DUI. And I'm just wondering if maybe you can speak to your perception of those changes.
Thank you for the question. So certainly I can provide some insight from the police perspective. Challenge we'll have is to actually know not that it's not the true reason, but the factual change. Human trafficking, the recognition of it and its prevalence within Canada, within Ontario is growing, and that's I would argue an awareness program or awareness that's being shared across Ontario by all police services and by all communities. I think we recognize that in Barrie in particular, given our location within Ontario Road and locations of temporary housing or the hotels and motels just off those arterial roads lends itself that is the prevalence of human trafficking. There's always a potential there, and so I think there's a greater awareness of that. Interestingly, DUI or the impaired driving, to not see it again, I would lend that potentially to what people are exposed to in terms of media exposure, social media, and just the awareness to it. Sadly, we see a greater recognition of this being a broader concern for society. When there's a fatality or numerous accidents involved, we still regularly target impaired driving because we do know that there are impaired drivers out there, and it is our attempt to consistently identify and stop them, but at the same time send a message that it's obvious, but for some who don't seem to understand the message, that it is not welcome in our community nor anywhere in Ontario or Canada. All of them.
It's also just on the figure 3 again. The number one issue is substance abuse, with over 40% of people identifying that as their largest safety concern in the city. Going back to 2020, we never had 40% of people identifying one thing. Can you speak to that at all, and just maybe the reasons why, trends across the province, and if we can expect to see anything coming forward about how this service might be looking at mitigating that concern?
Through your chair. It is incredibly concerning to see, but not surprising. We face an opioid crisis like everywhere else in Ontario, let alone Canada, perhaps even North America, and it is expansive, and it is increasing at a drastic rate, and we are aware of this. In terms of within our city, we do recognize substance abuse in and of itself is a health issue, but it has implications for public safety and perceptions of that. As a police service, we are exploring a strategy within our downtown as well as our park area to address that in terms of perceptions of safety and our presence, and increasing that, and then rigorously tracking the effect that it has. And so we will be reaching out to our community partners, as well as the individuals that are potentially suffering that are in the throes of substance abuse. But also, we are responsible for those feelings of safety in our downtown and our parks and our more heavily populated areas. For people, when they see us, there's a greater feeling of safety. And so we are targeting that in terms of an initiative to drastically increase that, so people are safe and they feel safe, which is sometimes an impossible balance, but we endeavor to do that.
Thank you so much, and thank you for those responses. I would say, just wanting to speak to the report overall, that I think overall it's a very positive report, and generally it seems like people who are in Barrie feel safe, and I hope that we're positively contributing to that. And also just to say that I was pleased to see the increase in perception of positivity with the Barrie Police from the public. I think that is great to see, and I know that we've put consistent effort into that, and it shows that that's paying off. So that's great. Thank you.
Yes, Chief, if I may add, that's the takeaways. One is majority of people, are satisfied, I guess, with the service and service provided by the service members. And that was a strategic goal. Secondly, visibility. The fact that in a number of the questions, the visibility response was yes, there seems to be additional visibility. On the less than positive side is the word downtown area, or the Barrie of downtown. If you did a word search, pops up, a half dozen or so times in our report. And I will, for the community, at our board meeting next month, we will be bringing forward a request. We were looking for some funding for our community safety and well-being, and hopefully there'll be some additional funding for that for you, Chief, and we'll be looking for a plan to deploy those funds and to meet that specific role. So look forward to seeing that from us in May. Are there any other questions with respect to the consent items in our package? Seeing none, those in favor? Thank you. I'll hand it back over to you, Chief, for your update for the board, please.
Thank you, Board Chair. We're just going to bring up the PowerPoint. So thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to highlight a few of our events and initiatives that have occurred since our last board meeting. You can see on the slide here, we ran a family liaison course from March 21st to March 28th. The Barrie Police Service recently conducted this course led by instructors from the United Kingdom College of Policing, meeting their standard with respect to family liaison officers. This training has equipped our officers with enhanced skills to interact with families affected by major police investigations with greater sensitivity and compassion. As we move ahead, our designated family liaison officers will take charge of tasks such as delivering death notifications, offering ongoing support to the family, ensuring they receive timely updates, and gathering essential information for investigative purposes. I do want to specifically thank Detective Constable Deborah Howe, who has admirably she's held this position as a single officer for the last several years. We are growing and changing and learning, and this is one area that we are purposeful in doing better. Her dedication and expertise have been invaluable. For the family liaison officers, I want to express my appreciation for their commitment to participate in this training. Its significance extends beyond what you may realize, and your willingness to embrace it is truly appreciated. Oh, it's okay. Cool. The Barrie Persian Association recently hosted its third annual Nowruz Gala on March 23rd with Deputy Burke in attendance. The event highlighted the cultural richness of the Persian traditions and how they contribute to the diversity of our community, bringing people together in celebration and appreciation. On March 23rd, I attended Barrie Indian Association and International Society of Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, a festival of colors and inclusion. The celebration allowed the community to experience the rich cultural traditions of traditional Vedic culture firsthand. By sharing these traditions in an engaging way, the event helped deepen appreciation for Vedic culture among those who participated. Celebrations continued throughout the weekend with the 7th annual Holy Fest. It's actually pronounced Holy. My apologies. Members from the auxiliary unit and I spent the afternoon celebrating and welcoming spring with the culturally inclusive Indian celebration of the triumph of light over dark. The colorful joy of Holi united our community, celebrating the season's renewal and vitality. With laughter, music, and playful splashes of color, we embrace new beginnings and look forward to brighter days ahead together. Dry cleaner was not impressed with us. On April 2nd, the Barrie Police Service joined in commemorating the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force at Base Borden. We watched as the RCAF CF-18 Hornet fighter jets and Chinook helicopters that aren't pictured there, but they were there, did a flyover the newly unveiled Ad Astra monument. Local artist Marlene Hilton Moore has beautifully depicted the Latin translation of To the Stars in this monument. The monument stands as a tribute to the dedication and accomplishments of Canada's Air Force personnel throughout the past century, underscoring the ongoing significance of the RCAF in shaping Canada's future. It's especially fitting that this monument finds its home here at Base Borden, as it is the historic birthplace of the RCAF. During our run with the chief earlier this month, I realized just how fortunate our community is to have these 4 individuals joining our service. each bringing a diverse range of professional and life experiences to the team. On April 5th, board members, families, and fellow officers gathered to show their support at the recruit graduation ceremony, each officer taking an oath, and one by one, they stepped forward to receive their badges, a time-cherished symbol of their role. It's a proud moment for everyone involved, beginning their life of service and ensuring the safety of our community. Nicole, Brad, Emily, and Luke, congratulations. Stay safe. On April 13th, Deputy Chief Burke and I had the pleasure of participating in the Sweet Maple Festival at Georgian College alongside Member of Parliament Doug Shipley and Kevin Weaver, the president of Georgian College. Event management students from Georgian College organized various activities, including a self-guided scavenger hunt and a leisurely stroll through the maple tree path. They actually make their own maple syrup there, which I was unaware of, but they just don't package it and sell it because there's just not enough. And of course, indulging in pancakes smothered in maple syrup was a highlight. The event was a success, with all proceeds benefiting the Barrie Food Bank and the Georgian Food Locker. On April 14th, we marked National Police Safety Telecommunicators Week. Time to recognize the invaluable efforts of our dedicated civilians who serve as call takers and dispatchers. Their commitment ensures the safety of both our members and our community as a whole, and we express heartfelt gratitude for their unwavering service in emergency services. Thank you for serving as the lifeline to our members and our community, and for being the voice of calm in the chaos. On April 16th, Deputy Chief Burke and Communications Administrator Monique Boucher attended the Simcoe County Public Safety Communications Award ceremony to accept 2 team awards. First acknowledged an incident from 2019 that hadn't received recognition due to the pandemic. The second award recognized the exceptional performance of our call takers and dispatchers during a complex and prolonged incident involving multiple external agencies and unique resource requirements in December of 2023. Their professionalism and efficiency shone brightly throughout the entirety of the event, demonstrating their dedication and capability in managing such challenging circumstances. This accolade is truly well-deserved, highlighting their exceptional contributions and commitment to public safety. Jump into some investigative highlights. In the early hours, morning hours of April 1st, officers conducted a proactive traffic stop. Can you go back a slide? Sorry, forward one, let's go 2 then. We might be missing a slide there. One more, or is it the finish? There we go. Investigative highlights. So in the early morning hours of April 1st, officers conducted a proactive traffic stop in Barrie's Northeast End. The 39-year-old driver from Angus was arrested for driving with a suspended license, with cocaine being found on his person during the arrest. A search of the car revealed cannabis, fentanyl, methamphetamine, more cocaine, Canadian currency, and a loaded 9mm semi-automatic assault rifle style weapon. The passenger, a 25-year-old male from Aurelia, was also taken into custody, where both males now face charges related to drive while under suspension, possession of various classes of scheduled substances, the drugs, unauthorized possession of a firearm, and careless storage of ammunition. And continuing with the investigative updates, on April 13th, officers responded to a report of a robbery at the Grove Street Plaza. On arrival, police spoke with a store employee who was injured during the robbery. After assisting the victim, officers reviewed surveillance footage to identify the suspects. In less than 25 minutes, suspects, a 20-year-old man from Barrie and a 16-year-old with no fixed address, were apprehended. They were charged with robbery, assault, and possession of stolen property. Additionally, the 16-year-old was charged with failing to comply with a release order from a previous incident. Sarah, you better go back to that. Thank you. Yes, our efforts continue to bring Autumn Shaganash home. Following the announcement of a $50,000 reward for information on Autumn's current whereabouts, a billboard and a city bus now have the messaging you see here displayed on them in an effort to reunite Autumn with her family. We ask our community for your continued help. If you have any information, please contact our major crime unit at 705-725-7025, extension 2160. Chair, thank you. That concludes my updates.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. Any questions for the chief? Mr. Khan, please.
Real quick, Chair, thank you, through you to the chief. Regarding Ms. Saganash. Just I noted on the billboard there, it references Sunnydale. I think there was a previous release that also mentioned she was initially seen somewhere in the area of Burton and Franks Way, which is approximately Bayview and Burton. Is there additional information that members of the public can, or is there a place that additional members of the public can get additional information on potentially a memory jogger of where they might have seen her?
So if members of our public are looking for further information and they believe they have some more information to offer, they can certainly call into our major crime unit. We are exploring all leads, all information. So we ask that they contact us at that number. Extension 2160 is the extension for a major crime, and we'll explore that.
Thanks, Chief.
Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Chair, through you to the chief. Back to the family auxiliary officer. If you could just maybe expand a little bit, just maybe for the public. The program is basically an officer is assigned to a victim, and it's from start to finish. And there's some real good evidence that helps with the process of this, like in trauma and all that. Is that correct?
Thank you. That is correct. A little bit of background to this, and I'm not suggesting that our viewers go out and watch the shows, but BritBox has a prime example. There's a number of shows where they focus on the family liaison program. This literally is trained officers in an approach that they're embedded with the families, 2 officers at a time, and they are what we're faced with in policing today is we're focused on the investigation, but how much of that, how important is that? How our victims feel and how they're treated is incredibly important. And so this is one of the first programs in Canada for a family liaison program that is borrowed from what's being done overseas, and it's been incredibly helpful. But it also lends itself to a reduction of experiencing of victimization and how those victims have suffered through a major incident. How the system is the system, but how you feel you've been treated by it is incredibly important. And this is one aspect that we're pushing forward because it is incredibly important.
And I can follow up. The board has on a number of occasions thanked for the service at significant improvement. So I'll finalize that. Any other questions for Chief Johnson? Seeing none, our next board meeting is Thursday, May 23rd. So that is the 4th Thursday in May, not the 3rd, which is our normal. Just gives a little extra time for reporting. So May 23rd, not the May 16th, which would have been 3rd. A motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Thompson. Mr. Khan, all in favor? Thank you, everyone, for all your work. Appreciate it very much.